Hello everybody. I hope today's video finds you well. I've been doing kind of a deep dive into AI, artificial intelligence, recently, and especially over the last month or so, I've been going further and further down the rabbit hole. Now, this isn't the subject of the video, but I'm just explaining how I got there. So I've been listening to Lex Friedman's podcast a lot, and this weekend, or actually Thursday, Friday, and this weekend, I listened to most of his guests on there that he's had in relation to AI. Lex himself is apparently in the forefront of it. And he said, one of his guests said something, this is the only reason I'm mentioning that podcast, is one of his guests said something to him, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what it is, because I had noticed it about the tone of his show, even after just the first couple of episodes, and ergo my thinking led to the title of this one today, Finding Common Ground in a Divided World. Somebody mentioned to him that they gave him the compliment that they really appreciated the fact that he was able to meet with a diverse range of guests on his shows and find some sort of common ground instead of just chopping it up into what everything else is these days. Just think about that a little bit. I said in a divided world because everybody's arguing about everything these days: politics, religion, food. You know, I normally do food here. You'd act like people are going back and forth in the food wars like it's life and death. And in the tech world, I'm finding too that they're just hurling at each other, that this guy's an idiot, that guy, oh, that's ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. Even in the world of physics. So it's not just for us lower intellectual types. Even in those worlds, in the physics world, which I just like to watch a few things from time to time for entertainment, there's a whole internal thing. They don't like the string theory people because they're too, I don't know. Anyhow, the point being is that in real life, or mostly online, everywhere you go today, somebody's arguing about something, and somebody wants to fight to the death over this stuff. Number one, ask yourself, I mean, unless you just enjoy getting your blood pressure up, ask yourself, like, am I going to argue, like, passionately fight for every single thing that you see on the internet? And ironically, even though I'm doing this and talking about finding common ground, I guess the way I can really relate this is a lot, as I've talked in the past about how people like to throw the baby out with the bathwater. In other words, like, they might have somebody that puts out content or has written books or has done whatever, and they don't like certain aspects about that person, and that just blocks them off where they can't take anything from that person. There's still some common ground there. There have been people that I don't like that in their content, in whatever their information is, I've been able to take nuggets out of, and I'm not going to just close myself off just because of those things. I found something that, even though we're not speaking with each other directly, there is some common ground in there. I'm like, okay, I see that, I can use that. And also too, when I talk about finding common ground with other people, if it's an interaction, if it's a back and forth with somebody, the other person has to be acting in good faith as well, because if that person's just dead set on being in an argument and you're sitting there trying to have good faith and to try to find some common ground, you're just going to be it's just going to be a frustrating exercise. Like I say, I don't argue with anybody about hardly anything on the internet because it doesn't matter. You can be 100% right. You're not going to win. It's just this huge place where there's a lot of noise, and you've got to cut through. Well, number one, a lot of it is just BS anyway. A lot of times it's just a troll you're dealing with, or it's a petulant person that's just trying to get a rise out of you. And I was Googling some things this morning because I'm always trying to remember what something is called. And yeah, I say don't even participate when you see certain characteristics about an argument or disagreement or being on a different side than somebody else. Because a lot of times you'll in good faith get into it, and there's somebody that wants to argue with you, and immediately I eliminate certain types of people. You ever heard of the straw man argument? I wrote it down just so I'd get it exactly right. the straw man argument is the logical fallacy of distorting an opposing position into an extreme version of itself and then arguing against that extreme version. That one is huge. I see that all day, every day, where I'm sitting there thinking, whether it's news sources or whatever, I'm like, well, yeah, you're attacking an extreme version of something that this person is not proposing right here. And then there's the easiest one online, because it doesn't take a lot of IQ to do this one, is the abusive ad hominem argument. And that's associated with an attack on the character of the person carrying the argument. You see this all the time on social media and in stuff where somebody will, make some sort of a valid point, and then just some probably 14-year-old or something will come out and say, well, he's stupid or they're stupid because of something totally irrelevant. But I think on a deeper level, if we don't start learning to find some common ground with people, and we just take these extreme opposites, these polar camps where I'm over here and we're going to go to war, my group's over here, your group's over here, or our beliefs, I'm just using that groups as a kind of an example, but our beliefs. I don't have to believe exactly as you do for us to find some common ground. I've got a lot of interest. And, going back to the food for a minute, I think that's the problem with a lot of people in this food world. They don't have that many. They're totally about food, whether it's the vegans that are pounding the vegan message all the time, blah, 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 or on the other side, if it's the carnivores that are pounding the carnivore message. That's really all the interest. People only have very narrow interests. So I like to think if you come at me with good faith, or if you come to me with good faith, I can find some common ground with a lot of people, and we can just put the things, we can be mature people in this day and age. We can know, and I do that with a lot of people, or I have done that in my past as well. There's a subject that you and so are in total opposition, you're on the opposite ends of the spectrum on. And you just decide, you just don't talk about that, or you don't, that's not a subject that goes on between the two of you, because bottom line, even if you're 100% right, if you're not going to change the other person's mind by going back and forth, it's just mental masturbation in the end. That's all it really is. But with me, I would just say, like I said, encourage it. If you're ever in a difficult situation, and this works in sometimes in family get-togethers or in group get-togethers where you don't know, where you don't know everybody and you're just trying to, talk to people. That happens at parties and get-togethers a lot of time. You don't know who the people are. You don't know these people very well. So you kind of do just try to feel out those common interest things. I can talk basketball with somebody. I watched basketball all yesterday. I enjoy the NBA. I enjoy college basketball. I'm not some sort of expert. I can't sit around and talk statistics and this and that, but I enjoy it. So if I meet somebody somewhere that if they're into basketball, we can sit and talk some basketball. Technology, I'm not, when I talk about technology and a lot of this stuff, AI and this and that, various other forms of things, no, I am by no means any sort of an expert or even that smart at it. I'm just trying not to be like most of my generation and be 30 years behind it. So I enjoy talking a lot of things, sports. I enjoy talking about computers and technology. I enjoy talking about all forms of music. Music's a big one. If I can, meet somebody, and this has happened a lot of times in the past where I'm around somebody and we really don't vibe in hardly any way whatsoever. We don't have any things in common. We don't agree on a lot. And then we'll stumble onto, oh, you like that? Oh, I like that too. So there's just so many different areas. And, like I say, with the world today, the way it is, and it being amplified with us all being on a gadget or a computer all the time with social media or wherever you're interacting, it's almost and I watch this, I like to study people's behavior, I like to observe people's behavior, and it's just I imagine some people from their history, their trail, from the things they're doing currently, are just constantly doing this all day. They're arguing with somebody, they're just trying to they're trying to force somebody to believe like they believe. They're trying to forcibly change somebody else's mind. And that's just why everybody in the world is just pissed off all the time. So, I don't even really know what the point of this is to say, hey, well, it's not. I don't ever want to tell you, do this, do that. But just to think about that, whether you're online, whether you're in an office situation, whether it's a personal situation, family situation, the next time you get to one of these conflicts or one of these points where it's just a real heated argument, think about that. Think about how you can use a little conflict resolution and just be a little smart about it, because a lot of times, like everything, it goes back to ego. A lot of times people will be going back and forth with some sort of argument or debate, and each time somebody says something different, it's like ups the ante. It's like playing poker and you've put your chips into the pot. Well, I can't stop now. And you say one thing and the other person says another one. You dig your heels in, they dig their heels in. And in the end, I think we can really, if we really try hard enough, we can find some common ground with just about anybody on anything. But anyhow, just my 2 cents worth. I just wanted to kind of start the week off with something a little bit more thought-provoking. So hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. If you liked it, come back and check out some more content on the channel, and I'll see you guys here again in a couple of days. Peace.